We're going to talk about partial quotients as a way to divide. And just like multiplication is repeated addition, subtraction is basically just repeated subtraction. I mean, division is basically repeated subtraction. Okay, when I do partial quotient, I like to go ahead and draw me another little line over here. It helps me separate out my problem. And I'm subtracting from 48. And so I know 4 times 10 is 40. When I subtract that, that gives me 8. And I know there's 2 4s and 8, so 2 times 4 is 8. Then I subtract that and I get 0. And when we're doing partial quotient, we're always trying to subtract and we're always trying to get to 0. You don't always get to 0, but I think on these problems, most of them we will get to 0 on. Next thing you do is you add your products together. So 10 plus 2 is 12. So what that's telling us is 48 divided by 4 equals 12. And just like I said before, we're always going to check our division by multiplying. We do that by multiplying our divisor, or our quotient, by our divisor. Okay, 12 times 4. That's a math fact, but we'll go and work it out anyway. 2 times 4 is 8, and 4 times 1 is 4. This should equal your dividend. And when it does, you did it correctly. Let's go and try number 2. Problem number 2. Okay, we start off with our 10. And 9 times 10 is 90. When I subtract that, 0 from 3 is 3, and 9 from 15 is 6. Okay, we end up with 63. I know my math facts real well. I know my 9s real well, almost as well as I know my 10s. And I know that 9 times 7 is 63. When I subtract, I get to 0. Add that up, that's 17. 17, so that means that 153 divided by 9 is 17. And I'm going to check it, of course. So 17 times 9. 9 times 7 is 63. And 9 times 1 plus 6 is 15. And that equals my dividend, so that means we've done it correctly. Okay, problem number 3. Show one way of using partial quotient to solve 69 divided by 3. So 69 divided by 3. 69 divided by 3. Draw my line down. Since I don't have a lot of space, I'm going to come up with the largest number that I can think of that I can subtract there. I know 3 times 10 is 30, so that means that 3 times 20 would be 60. So I'm going to take 23's away. And that is 60, and that gets me to 9. And I know 3 times 3 is 9, and when I subtract that, that gives me 0. Now I add both my products together, and that gives me 23. So that means that 69 divided by 3 is 23, and I'm going to check it. 23 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. That matches my dividend, so that means I've done it correctly. Okay, problem number 4. Show another way of using partial quotients to solve 69 divided by 3. So 69 divided by 3. Okay, we'll start off like we normally have been starting off with our 10. Okay, and 3 10s is 30. Okay, when I subtract that, that's 9. And that is 3, so 39. That means I take another 10 away. That's 30. 3 10s is 30. That gives me 9. Okay, and I know there's 3 3s and 9, so 3 times 3 is 9, and when I subtract that, it gives me 0. I add all my products up. That equals 23, just like before, and we already checked it, so we won't check it again. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do the even problems, and you're going to come back and do the odd ones. Okay, this one right here is basically just showing some steps to go through. So on the first one, on problem number 6, the first one we're going to do, it's saying try 20. So 20 times 4, 20 times 4 is 80. You subtract that from 84, you get 4. Then 1 times 4 is 4, and you subtract that from 4, you get 0. So you're going to add 20 plus 1, you get 21. And we'll check it to see if we did it correctly. I think I remember right here. So 21 times 4. 4 times 1 is 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. And that matches our dividend right here. So that means we did it correctly. Okay, let's go ahead and do problem number 8. 126 divided by 7. Start off taking 10. 7's away is 70. Subtract. 0 from 6 is 6. And 7 from 12 is 5. Gives us 56. We know our multiplication facts real well. So 7 times 8 times is 56. We subtract that, we get 0. We add our products together. 8 plus 10 is 18. So that's saying that 126 divided by 7 is 18, and we'll check it. 18 times 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. And that matches our dividend. That means we've done it right. Problem number 10. Problem number 10. We'll go and take 10 7s away, and that's 70. That leaves us 14. Okay, I take 2 7s away, and that's 14. When I subtract that, I get 0. So 84 divided by 7 is 12. We'll check it. 12 times 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And that matches our dividend, so we done it correctly. Let's go over to the next page. We're going to look at problem number 12. Problem number 12. Okay, a car repair shop charges $65 an hour for labor. If the repair requires $120 in parts and 3 hours in labor, what is the total cost of the repair? Okay, we need to box in the question. We're trying to find the total cost of the repair. Okay, there's some important information in there. They charge $65 there, $120 there, and we have 3 hours here. Okay, so the label for the $65 is an hour, and looks like you need 3 hours worth of work, and then we also have $120 in parts. That's a two-step problem. First, we need to figure out how much the labor is. Okay, if we're trying to figure out how much the labor is, that's going to be 65 times 3. 65 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry my 1. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 would be 19. So it's $195 in labor. Okay, and we want to add that to our $120 in parts. We're trying to find out the total to repair the car. 5 plus 0 is 5. Okay, 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry my 1. And 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So that's $315 to repair the car. Problem number 14. Problem number 14. Okay, on problem number 14. Amanda thinks that she can stack her books into 4 piles with six books each and 6 piles with 3 books each. Is Amanda reasoning correct? And explain. So basically, we're going to go and figure out these piles right here. So the first have 4 piles with 6. Okay, 4 times 6, that's going to be 24 books. Okay, the next one is 6 piles with 3 books each. So 6 times 3 equals 18. So that's our 2 piles of books they're talking about. And we want to see if that equals all of our books right there, are 42 books. So 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry my 1. Then 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. So it is correct. So is their reasoning correct? It is correct. Make sure you always answer. Always answer the question right there. Always answer the question. That's the big reason that we box in the question every time. We want to box it in every time so we make sure we answer that question. And the last one we're going to do. Okay, it says, how can you use partial quotient to find 366 divided by 3? And we'll just go ahead and work through this problem real quick. So 3 is our divisor, and 366 is our dividend. I like to draw my line down and keep everything separated there. And, okay, just as easily as I know my 10 facts, I know my 100 facts. And 3 hundredths is 300. So 100 threes is 300. When I subtract that, okay, that gives me 66. Okay, I'm going to get this problem knocked out as quickly as I can because I'm running out of room there. So we'll go back to our tens. Okay, I know 10 threes is 30, so 20 threes would be 60. I subtract that, I get 6. And now I'm down to 6. I know there's 2 times 3 is 6, and that'll get me to 0. Okay, now that I'm to 0, all I need to do is add up. And it's important, I didn't do a real good job of keeping everything lined up here. It's important to always line up your place values when you're adding. Okay, so 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. And then 1 plus nothing is 1. So that's 122. 122. So 366 divided by 3 is 122. And of course, we're going to check that. So 122 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3. And this matches our dividend, so we've done it correctly. And now I need you to go back and do all the odd problems.